Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I was working with colored pencils, just kind of going over a blank piece of paper just randomly, not really thinking about it too much, and suddenly I was kind of making some kind of skyline thing and I was like, So I grabbed a few different colors to try and see if I could make some sort of skyline. So I chose a few different colors, ones that I thought might fit the mood template of a sunset where nightfall is slowly approaching. And because if I didn't have that much experience with colored pencils, it made it slightly harder to record this and get this on the time lapse because one little screw up and I felt like I could have possibly destroyed the entire thing. I mean, I can try as hard as I can to try and cover up any mistake, but if it's truly far gone, then it's too far gone. But fortunately, I have not made any kind of decisions as an adult, like with my art, that has completely made me just want to tear it into pieces. So this was definitely an interesting experience, but one that was much needed since, I don't know, for some reason as a little kid I really didn't practice with colored pencils as much as I probably should have. I mean, it's kind of a big piece of the art, and I mean, it kind of sets the mood. It kind of forces you to look at all the different popping colors, especially because if I chose the triangle to work with. So because if it's so direct and straight up right in the middle, all the popping colors just kind of bring life to the entire image itself. And this was actually really fun to work with. I actually really like working with colored pencils so far. If I ever do dabble with colors, then typically it is with markers, so this was definitely different this time. The only thing that kind of tripped me up at times was just not knowing if I was doing too much by adding too many layers onto it. So I tried looking up a few YouTube videos myself to try to get a general gist of what I should be doing and maybe what I should be kind of avoiding. But for the most part, I kind of just went for it with this one, and I just kind of did whatever I could try. I tried making weird little designs in these little circles here just to kind of give it a little bit of a different kind of image. Now, when I look back on this, maybe 3 or 6 months from now, will I probably see myself making some mistakes with this? Of course, 100%, but I don't really care. I mean, there's no way to kind of learn what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong unless I, actually try it. And that's something that I just didn't want to be afraid of. Either way, I'm definitely going to be putting this one in the portfolio book just because, I mean, it still was kind of fun. I still ended up liking the outcome of what I came up with, so I'm definitely going to be tucking that one into the portfolio just so I can kind of look back on it of when I, truly started to give more of a focus into giving more color into some of these images and some of these drawings. And also something I've wanted to get back into is painting. And painting is something that I haven't really messed with in a couple years, but I definitely want to start getting some canvases just so I can have something to kind of put up on my wall after I get them painted up. And I'll eventually be time-lapsing the experiences that I had with those as well. The cool thing about me time-lapsing these experiences that I have with all these different kind of art mediums is just that I'll actually be able to slowly see myself getting better week by week. I don't exactly feel like a beginner by any means, but I do feel like there are still plenty of things that I need to learn. But that's something that should naturally come with more practice and more time spent on this. And by this point of the image, I believe I may have worked a little too hard into the actual drawing, unfortunately. I thought the wax of the pencil was starting to kind of come off, but unfortunately I was driving the colored pencils way too hard into the paper, and so it was slowly kind of chipping away pieces of the paper itself. And so by adding way too many layers, I now know that I should probably only go over it a few times. I thought that by adding this little white marker, it could just kind of brighten up the image a little bit and kind of just tie it all together. So if you ended up watching this all the way through, thank you. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you want to be a consistent viewer, and I'll see you guys in the next one.